everyone. I am Janine Davis of James Davis and Associates. I believe everyone can succeed and be happy with the right encouragement, inspiration, and motivation. I'm here to provide some of that with today's confidence tip of the day. That tip is, life is not always a crystal stair. Now, this comes from Langston Hughes' poem, Mother to Son, and it's got 3 lessons for you on confidence, and I want to share them with you. I woke up this morning feeling kind of good, but just recognizing there's a whole lot of stuff going on in my life, my education, with my family, with work, that has to get done, and not all of it's easy, but it's important. I boosted my confidence with the knowledge that life's not always a crystal stair. No one promised me a rose garden. No one promised you one either. Life is full of hard stuff. And so knowing that boosts your confidence. In this poem, for example, there are 3 tips that are going to boost your confidence today. Number 1, sometimes life is hard. Number 2, there is always someone who sees you as a role model. Number 3, you can keep moving forward. Even when things are hard, you can still progress. Now, we're going to start by doing the poem because you know I love a dramatic reading. It's just part of me and who I am, and I look for any excuse to get dramatic. So here we go. Well, son, I'll tell you. Life for me ain't been no crystal stair. It's had tacks in it, and splinters, and boards torn up, and places with no carpet on the floor. Bare. But all the time, I've been climbing on and reaching landings and turning corners and sometimes going in the dark when there ain't been no light. So, boy, don't you turn back. Don't you sit down on the steps because you find it's kind of hard. Don't you fall now. For I still going on, honey. I still climbing. And life for me, it ain't been no crystal stair. That's the poem. And like I told you a few seconds ago, it's got 3 great lessons for entrepreneurs. I'm going to repeat them for you. Sometimes life is hard. There's always someone who sees you as a role model, and you can keep moving on even when life is hard. Now, in this poem, the mother tells her son that life is not always a smooth ride. She's making it clear to her son that life is hard sometimes, and that's important. Now, as I read the poem in my mind and I say the words, I see this old woman on a raggedy staircase with tacks and nails and splintered wood. And sometimes I even feel like, oh, I need to massage my feet as I think about those splinters that she must have gotten as she climbed those stairs. I remember how scared I've been when I've walked in strange places when there was no light. Literally happened. I remember being tired from the weight of my day and wanting to sit down in the middle of a flight of steps, but not being able to do it because I had things to do. I've had to keep moving on. I have lived these stairs. This staircase has been part of my actual life, even though just metaphorically. And so I know about hard times, and you, no matter who you are, you've had hard times in your life. My hard times may not be yours and vice versa, but you've had them. And you're here because you pushed forward. You kept going even when things were hard. And so today I want to encourage you. If life is hard, boost your confidence with the knowledge that you can keep going. No matter what you are going through in life, you can come out on the other side. You can do the hard things that you are facing. You've done hard things before. You can do them again. Let your confidence be strengthened with the knowledge that you can do hard things. You learned to walk. You've learned to run. You learned to talk. You went to school. You had a life. You got along with crazy neighbors, crazy bosses, weirdo coworkers. Those are all hard things, and you have done them. And when you recognize that life is hard, you've done hard things, and you can continue to do them, you're having a realistic view of life. Don't ignore it. Don't say, no, life not really hard. That sets you up to fail because life is hard. It's full of hard things. Boost your confidence by knowing that Sometimes life is hard and you're going to have to keep going. Come up with a plan. You know that chick who sits behind you at work is crazy? Think of how you're going to deal with her craziness. When she starts to drag you in, are you going to say, "Ooh, girl, I have a headache. You have some aspirin?" She'll leave you alone for a few minutes because you have a headache. Maybe you have to go to the bathroom. Maybe you have to hang up on a friend on the phone. "Oh, the kids are calling me. My husband's calling me. I have to pee." No matter what it is, come up with something. Boost your confidence in knowing that life is not always a crystal stair. There are hard parts and you can get through them. A second lesson from that poem that can boost your confidence, that can increase the confidence you have in you, is knowing that there is always someone who sees you as a role model, no matter who you are. In that poem, the mother, was modeling behavior for her son. She was teaching him resilience, perseverance, determination. There was no formal declaration. She didn't say, "Son, here's a lesson for you." She just told him, "This is what I'm doing, and because I'm doing it, you can do it." She's a role model for her son. Additionally, she's a role model for people she's not thinking about, for members of her family, the world at large. People she doesn't even know are watching her, but they're seeing her climb that hard staircase that is her life, and they're seeing her go through day after day after day, go through hard things and succeed. No matter who you are, no matter what you do, there is someone watching you and hoping you succeed. Now you're going to tell me, "Well, there are people who want me to fail." Screw them people. Don't worry about those people. Concentrate on the fact that there are people who are watching you, who see you as a role model, and who think they can succeed because you are succeeding, because you are pushing forward. And sometimes just continuing to move is success. Let that knowledge boost your confidence. The fact that you are a role model for people around you, some of whom you may never know you are a role model for. But let that boost your confidence, because it tells you there's something about you that's worthy of copying, that you are an exemplar, you are an example to people. That is a compliment. So step back, recognize that you're a role model, and then step forward and be the best you can be in all that you do. Boost your confidence because you have the knowledge that life is not always a crystal stair. Now, the final confidence tip I found in this poem, and it boosts my confidence, and I'm hoping it boosts yours too, is that you can keep moving forward even when life is hard. Now, we've all heard that expression, "There's a time for everything." I'm a church girl, so we hear it all the time in church. There's a time for this, there's a time for that. There's a time to plant, there's a time to pick up what you planted. And I have a few different methods of moving forward for when things get hard or scary. And knowing I have those methods boosts my confidence, because I know when it gets hard, I try one of my little tricks and it helps me to move forward. You try these, add them to your confidence toolkit. The first one is what I call the Lost method from the TV show Lost. The second one is what I call the best worst scenario situation. The Lost method comes from the old television show Lost. And on the first episode of that TV show, there was this surgeon, Jack, and he starts talking about his first spinal surgery. And during that surgery, he made some big mistake, and he cut where he shouldn't have, and he did something that could potentially have this woman paralyzed for life. Now, that's a big deal. I'd panic, but I'm not a spinal surgeon. But he gave himself 5 seconds to panic. And he literally just said he let himself panic, go crazy. "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." But only for 5 seconds. When those 5 seconds were up, he stopped, held his head up, got back to work, and did what he needed to do to save that woman's future mobility. Things turned out perfectly for the patient, as they do on television shows. But for me, I'm not cutting into spines or anything like that. But when I start feeling scared or nervous and my confidence is taking a hit because I don't know how I'm going to keep going, I do that 5-second minute. I give myself 5 seconds to be scared, overwhelmed, angry, unable to move. But only 5 seconds. And my friends and family members have seen me counting on my fingers. 2, 3, 4, 5. And after that, I move. Just 5 seconds and I move. This method will boost your confidence because it shows that you can get back control of your life. A bad thing happened, a hard thing happened, not a good situation, and it may be devastating. But the good thing is you don't have to be devastated forever. You can regain control of your life, and you can do it 5 seconds at a time. Now, I'm going to tell you, sometimes I have to do that count for 5 seconds, and then 30 seconds later, I'm doing 5 seconds again. 30 seconds later, another 5 seconds. But eventually, no matter how hard the situation has been, it's every 30 seconds, then it's every minute, every 5 minutes, every hour, every 2 hours, once a day, once a week. Eventually, you get to where you can push forward and you don't need to use your 5-second method. But while you need it, do it. Use that 5-second method. Let yourself panic. Get it out of your system. Don't try and pretend it doesn't exist. Don't let that hurt your confidence. Boost your confidence with knowing that, okay, this is going to run for 5 seconds, and then I'm taking control back. And if you can take a control back, even if 30 seconds later you have to grab control again, it's okay because you took control of your life once, so you can do it again. Boost your confidence because knowing step by step, again, you can get your confidence back. Now, that's the confidence tip for today. Life is not always a crystal stair. Sometimes it's hard, but so what? You can do hard things. You've done them before. You're going to do them again. Let the knowledge that life is not always a crystal stair, know that, embrace it. Let that knowledge boost your confidence because when those things happen, you didn't get ready, you stay ready. And that helps you push forward with confidence and strength. Okay? That's it for today. Life ain't always a crystal stair. Recognize it. And I'll see you next time with another confidence tip of the day. Bye, everybody.